Hi, I'm Mike Cherniffsky, and you're listening to This Podcast is Uncalled For. Everybody, welcome to the podcast. Got a guest here today. Go ahead and introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, hi, I'm Kyle Ament.
Good to meet you, Kyle. And of course, you sent me your resume. You are an actor locally.
Yeah, I'm a local Kansas City actor. Been in probably close to 50 different projects, including over 20 feature films.
Wow.
Been in a few series. I've had lead roles, supporting roles, and background roles.
Cool. Now, looking at your resume, I noticed that you had acted in is it Promise Chronicles Manifest?
Yeah,
Promise Chronicles Manifestation.
Yeah, the Promise Chronicles Manifestation. I was the Pope in that.
You were the Pope.
I was the Pope in that. I really just had one main scene. In that, I would say like Wholesome Grove was the biggest project, most lines I've ever had. I had probably over 330 lines. It won the best Heartland feature at the Kansas City Film Festival. It's won at other film festivals. It's out now. It's on Amazon Prime and Tubi, and then it's like a bunch of Roku channels and that sort of thing. That's my biggest project that I've ever done. I've been lead before, but never so dialogue heavy, because like a lot of times if you're like a lead character, it's spread out over half a dozen people. This was mainly 4, and I was the main one, so it was like it was a lot of work.
Good deal.
A lot of work.
Yeah, I first heard about that project from a friend of the podcast, Rick Daniels.
Oh, yeah. Rick Daniels is my buddy.
Yeah.
Rick Daniels is my buddy. So, yeah, I know he's been on this podcast and several others. He's absolutely hilarious.
He's a good guy. He's a good actor.
Yeah, he's one of the people that we get excited when we see each other. I get a picture with him every time. So I have so many pictures with him. And I'll tell you, like the interesting fact, at least to Rick and I, we've been in 11 projects together, which is more than I've been in with anybody else, and he said the same. So it seemed like if you want to cast Rick Daniels, his real name is Dan, in fact. Yep. If you want to cast Rick Daniels, you probably should look at me and vice versa.
And I'm guilty of calling him Dan too. So
yeah, that's okay. That's good.
For our audience, Rick Daniels is
that's good. Name. It's a performance thing.
Yep. And we were talking just before I started recording. You've worked with other friends of the podcast too. So.
Yeah. I would say Omega Edwards. Omega and I were in Best Day of Your Life along with Benzino and Alan Michael Doherty. Aaron Doherty was the director, and he tops my list. One of the most competent, best directors in Kansas City. I'm supposed to be in a short film with him this fall with Aaron, and then a feature in about a year. And he's one who, if he ever asks me to do something, I'll say yes. Just like Eric Willis, Wholesome Grove, I'm in his next feature that he's doing, Southern Fried Romance. I've already filmed my part. I am far from the lead in that. I think I've got 4 scenes total, and they're already filmed.
Yeah. Good deal.
So,
good deal.
Yep.
Good deal. So Eric Willis, I kind of know him, but not.
Yeah, you should have him on. He's a great guy. Great guy.
So, invites to Eric Willis. Feel free to contact me, and we'll get you on. Who are some of the other filmmakers, if you don't mind me asking, that you've?
Yeah, I would say probably the next Robbie Lopez.
I've heard the name.
Yeah, he River Beauty. There were they had like three kind of that were main characters. I was one of the three main characters in River Beauty, and we filmed it, most of it. Well, I shouldn't say most of it. Lake of the Ozarks and Kansas City, Grandview. You know,
where we're sitting right now, Grandview.
Yeah, we're in Grandview right now. Not because I live here, but because the hardware store and there's some Mexican restaurant, and we filmed in those two locations here in town. I'd say probably more of it was filmed in Lake of the Ozarks. He brought in Michael Madsen, who's from Los Angeles via Sweden, and he brought him in, and then Tiffany Michelle, who's a fantastic local actress. She's done a lot of stuff. She was the other person that was in it, like of the three mains. But there were more than that. There were a lot of great people in that. And I've been in with Robbie Lopez, Cult of Blood, which is just now coming out. I was in that with him in a supporting role. Along with Michael Madsen again, who came in from Los Angeles. Thomas Smith also was in that. We were, the kind of, sometimes the films have an A team and a B team. That's Robbie's terms, not mine. We're the A team.
I as a filmmaker myself, I totally get it. So A team, that's your main
guys. Folks,
and then your B team, like the secondary stuff. The main folks that the actors that don't need to be with the
team. Excellent. So River Beauty, I was on the A team. Cult of Blood, I was on the B team. So we were in there. We were important. Michael Madsen and I were police officers, and we were hanging out in the car. We're both kind of incompetent. He had on a fat suit, which to me was really funny. And the A team was a group. Dan from New York, he came in. I'm trying to think of his last name. I've lost it. I want to say Dan Gregory. He came in, and they brought in Felissa Rose and Dave Sheridan as well. They're both. Felissa Rose is Sleepaway Camp was the main key person in that. And Dave Sheridan was Doofy in Scary Movie, if you remember that. But he brought in some other people, but like Thomas Smith and myself and Michael Madsen were like the other three characters, where we had kind of side stories and we interact with the main characters and all that. So in several scenes with that as well.
Good deal. So I'm guessing you do a lot of cops. Obviously. Obviously the Pope.
Yeah.
So a lot of authority figures. You get
like a judge or a policeman. Dead Legion series. There's 15 episodes. I'm in 9 of those as a sheriff after like the zombie apocalypse comes down. It's Nathan Pinion, Sidney Pinion. They're the ones who did that in St. Joe, but they also did it all around. We were in Kansas City, Kansas at the drive-in. We were in, I want to say, Tonganoxie, Kansas, St. Joe, and then like all around St. Joe. Like there's some big park south of St. Joe I never even knew existed. And like I've learned, actually a lot of places exist. When you do filming, you go to unique places. I would say probably the most beautiful settings that I've been to, Maxi-Billion Studios, which they have they do films for cell phones. So they film vertically, but I mean, they're like Netflix approved cameras, like nice cameras, not, they're not using cell phones, but they're made for cell phones. And they filmed Nikita. I did that there. And then they did these 10 shorts that they're going to make into movies potentially. And I was in 3 of those, and they filmed There was a mansion in Platte City. Has a what do you call it? An airstrip right out in front. It's this huge, beautiful mansion, 2 stories high. Like the kitchen's just big oak walls, but you open them up and the refrigerators and different things like just wall. It's like tremendous. And then they filmed at a place in Independence called it was a Airbnb, the Elvis Mansion, and because they needed an indoor pool.
Right.
And they have an indoor pool shaped like a guitar.
Nice.
And it's painted on the bottom like a guitar. So it's like I like these multi-million-dollar mansions, which I guess I've been to 3 of them with that group doing the filming, and they brought in someone from Los Angeles and somebody from Texas and somebody from Ohio, and then I was on the B team in that one too. Those 3 were the A team, and then a lady from Kansas City was in there, Lauren Smith. She also from the area. She was like, those were the 4 main people. I was a kind of a werewolf. I never really transformed, but I was I had teeth and red
transform.
Yeah, red contacts and teeth. And Lauren Smith played my daughter in there, and we were the 2 most evil of the people there. Nice. And we were kind of like planning like to sabotage people and things, but I got killed. So
okay. Yeah, that happens. So where in Independence is this place?
I did not go to it. I just saw the pictures. But actually, if you type in Elvis Mansion or Elvis, whatever it is, VRBO,
right?
You can see pictures, because that's what I did. And then I saw pictures of the scene because somebody gets pushed in the water. They had to have somebody get pushed in the water, so they had to find a place with a pool, and they found this beautiful mansion in Independence. I didn't go to that one, but I have been to a couple of the others. Okay. I went to the one in Platte City, which was very impressive.
I've spent a lot of time in Platte City lately for my my day job, because I teach chess and I did a lot of work with the Platte County School District. So.
Oh yeah. I'm sure it's Platte County School District, but it's not in the city limits. It's I don't know how many acres, 100 acres or something.
That school district goes all the way to the Clay County line.
Oh yeah, it's huge, I'm sure. So.
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah, and only 4 elementary schools.
What is it?
4 elementary schools.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I'm guessing a lot of these films are also horror.
Yeah, I've done some horror now, like The River Beauty. It's horror. Nikita of the New Moon, or Nikita, 3 Times Rejected Mate. That was Cult of Blood that's coming out. It was as well, and I'm done filming my part, but they're still filming. Todd Sheets.
I do.
Okay, yeah, Todd Sheets. His big thing was Bone Hill Road, and there's another Clownado. He's filming a movie, but I can't tell you the title. But I'm the monster, so I get to be really mean, really, really mean in it before I transform into the monster. You can take those roles. You could be like, I don't want to turn into a monster and hurt you, but I'm going to have to. Or I did the approach, I want to turn into a monster, so I'm going to get you. That was more my approach.
Right. So, any other genres that you work in other than horror? Or?
Oh yeah, well, I mean, like Wholesome Grove was, a very wholesome movie. I play a businessman, and there's a dying girl. It's Ashlyn Ford. That they're all local people, and her mother, Ashley Moreland. And I have Jeremy Walter is my attorney, my assistant, so I get to be mean to him the whole time.
Right. And
basically I'm like really mean and angry the whole time. Not as much. I'd like to be a little more, but but I held back. But no, so I for the role, it was good for the role. So I did that, and then I have a change of heart because Ashlyn Ford is the girl who's dying, and she kind of makes it where. I have a change of heart, like someone reached inside my soul and flipped on a switch. I think I say that in the movie. it has like a slight Christian feel to it, like not like heavy, but it definitely has a faith aspect to it, and I really enjoyed it. It was a good part for me, and everybody seemed to be cast well. I thought, like, when you watch, like, the three people I named and myself, I think there's always things you can do better, but I feel like it was a really good performance. And Anthony Graham is the cinematographer, camera operator, etc., and he makes everybody look good. He checks on, like, all the detail. He's somebody who's real detail oriented. I think, like, really a quality guy. In fact, when they do those 48-hour film festivals, people probably fight over him. He's one that everybody wants on their team. He's that kind of guy. So
I've never done the 48-hour. I've done the one-night stands, the 10.
Yeah. It's the same kind of stuff. That's probably
idea. So
yeah.
Should I explain to anyone who's listening who doesn't know what we're talking about?
Sure.
They give you 48 hours to make a film. With the one-night stand, it's 10 hours to make a film. And they give you certain elements that you have to put in your film, and all those elements have to be. They have to find a way to work them into the film and everything. So with the one night stand in particular, it's a line of dialogue, usually from a famous movie, an object of some sorts, and they used to do theme or something, but they could have changed it. It's been a while since I've done one.
Yeah, I've never done one, but I went and saw, they had something where they showed them.
They showed them that night.
Yeah, I went and saw, I saw one of them, I think it was Gordon Lamb that won it, his team. But yeah, it was really, really good. He got all the, like, got good actors, he got people that can edit, he, like, directed it, like, I mean, they did an outstanding job. It's probably the 10-hour one, not the 48.
Yeah, one night stand is 10 hour.
Yeah, it was that deal.
So one night stand that comes to mind for me was it's called Unfiltered. It was Pat Lam worked on with that one, and I remember it ran long and we didn't finish editing on time, but we still got it shown. Yeah. And then afterwards, I did like 8 different edits. Because believe it or not, our first draft got banned in Germany and Japan. Yeah. Because of the music I had used.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
So, be careful what music you use for these things.
I was going to tell you, also I was in a TNT Jackson with Todd Sheets as well. I played a crooked city councilman who got arrested and stuff, so it was kind of fun. It's the very beginning of it, so like if you're watching it just to watch my character, you watch the first 10 minutes and you can watch me commit a crime, watch me get arrested all in the first few minutes. And then another series I was in 4 episodes, Agony and Ecstasy with Vicki McGill. She's like a super nice lady. Actually, I really loved working with her. But I was in 4 of those episodes, and that's like a crime thing. I'm actually like a normal person in that one. So I got to play, like I was telling people before, like I want to play like a regular person 10 to 25% of the time. I want to be the bad guy 75 to 90%, which is what I'm doing, which is pretty much what I'm doing. It's pretty much what I'm doing. So I get to play the bad guy. That one I play a regular person. I'm a doctor. I tell people that we couldn't save them and, whatever, things like that. Tell people diagnosis and results from DNA tests and, all sorts of things like that. But I actually think it's a pretty good series. Someone trying to be a musician, there's criminals, there's like you get a chance to see, Marcus McIntosh is in that. He's another one, kind of like Rick Daniels, that we kind of are in things together and stuff a lot. So there's several of them. Good Thomas deal. Smith, several people that I see the same people a lot of times here in Kansas City. Yeah.
Other names I'm usually associated with include Brian Boy and the late Dave Barry.
Yeah, I actually don't know either of those. So,
well, Brian fortunately is still with us, and just did Fringe with me.
Oh, okay.
Very cool. I did the podcast at KC Fringe this past year. So Brian did. It was his third time on the podcast, and Dave unfortunately died in 2018.
Oh, okay. I think I've heard his name because they do a dedication to him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, every year. So after good. You said that, I recognized his name.
Yeah, he was a great guy and a great guy to work with. And, and I did a lot of one-night stands with the two of them, and that's. There's one more one-night stand I need to bring up. It's called Mike from Orlando.
Oh wow!
Yeah. The premise is because I watch a lot of political news, specifically MSNBC, and even more specifically Keith Olbermann.
Yeah.
And got hooked up with the whole Olbermann versus O'Reilly thing, and it's based around a phone call that this guy named Mike from Orlando made into O'Reilly's show, saying, "Well, hey, I listen to your show, but I think Keith Olbermann got cut off." Yeah, he's a gone guy. So we have your phone number. We're going to turn over Fox Security. We'll be getting a little visit.
Wow.
And this short film was basically a dramatization of what happened to this guy. So he's so after he makes the phone call, he writes a love letter. That was the item, saying I gotta go into exile, which was the theme. I gotta go into exile, and then knock on the door. It's Fox Security, who beats him to death with a loofah. Wow, with a loofah. Mm-hmm. Wow, yeah, I tell you, people are so creative. And his last words were, "I could have been somebody. I could have been contender." And the loofah was very specific to the O'Reilly thing, because a little bit of a history lesson for people. Bill O'Reilly was sued for sexually harassing one of his female producers. Mm-hmm. And in said lawsuit, she had tapes of him on talking dirty on the phone. Mm-hmm. It included a shower sex scenario where the loofah mitt eventually evolved to the falafel thing. Wow. Yeah. And just add insult to injury, I didn't have any falafels on the day, but we did have pita bread. So we just threw a piece of pita bread on the corpse. Wow. Wow. Death with a loofah. People are creative. I have to tell you, writers, I always admire people that can write. Probably actually just about every director that we've brought up. I never said Hunter Johnson's name, but he's the one with Maximilian Studios. Mm-hmm. He's with it's lahorror.com. He's from Wisconsin, lived in Los Angeles for 10 years. Mm-hmm. But we found a woman in Kansas City to recruit him for here, so now he's here. Goes back and forth. He's a fantastic director, and he's done so many movies. I watched a movie he was in called Porcelain, which was filmed in Philadelphia, and he was one of the main actors in it, probably the one of the top two characters. Mm-hmm. And it's so funny because I didn't realize he was such a good actor because I've just seen him as a director. So right, but yeah, he can do it all. So yeah, the most recent film I did any work for was one that Jessica Whitfield, friend of the podcast. Yeah, I know Jessica. Wrote, yeah, she's great. She wrote this film called Prepper. Yes, I know that. I know exactly. Megan Hitchcock Smith. And all that. Yeah. She asked me to do the voice of a podcaster. Oh, so I got to record it, and she's another one. I really. She actually attended the episode with Brian at Fringe. So wow, yeah, she's very impressive to me. Just the fact she can do so much. She can write, act, and making a living doing this stuff. And so really doing, I think, exceptionally well. Mm-hmm. The writing is beautiful that she does. So I've always been impressed with her. Certain people that I feel wow, that's impressive, and she's one. And Prepper was something she brought up on the podcast too. So when she so yeah, that was an honor. Thanks, Jessica, for that opportunity. Yeah, we were in
trying to remember how to pronounce it. Syroec Road is what it's from. Ciro. Ciro. And that's was Keenan Capps and Nick Gavici. They wrote this, and it's basically like there's Rachel Klawicki, Thomas Smith, Aaron Lewis, Jessica Whitfield, myself, whatever. I play a weird gardener. So in this one, I'm like in the background of a lot of scenes. I have some lines too, but like a lot of it, I'm in the scenes just because I'm a weird gardener wearing a blue suit, watching everybody and all this. It's actually, it is one of the most cleverly written things, and Nick and Keenan wrote it like where it is like one of the most unique stories that I've seen. And so I really enjoyed, like, people are kind of lost. They're all lost in the same place. I'm kind of the person that knows what's going on, but nobody else does. So it's kind of interesting. It's an interesting little story that's going through like the festival circuit right now. So hopefully that's going to come out. And Tanner Smith, I've only done one movie with Tanner Smith.
I've heard of him.
Yeah. I always view like, someone said, and I agreed with it, so I've repeated it. Tanner Smith and Eric Willis keep the local films alive. They both are like prolific writers and filmmakers. Both of them. They're both great. They both just write and just direct and just make things and feature films. Like not the short films. Nothing wrong with short films, but honestly, I like feature films. You know, you'll sit down and watch a feature film. At least a lot of people will. Before they'll sit down and watch an 8-minute film, they'll watch an hour. Hour and a half, you know. So
I went into filmmaking with that mindset too, and it didn't go too well for me, but to each his own. So I can really say I've tried it.
Well, probably best to do a few, like if you're an actor, you're a writer, you're a director, anything. Do a few short films first, get all that experience before you try the big project.
Yeah, words of the wise.
Yeah,
and from experience.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Patrick Poe is another guy another friend of the podcast.
He's a great guy too.
He's done some features.
I've met him. I've never worked with him, but I've met him before. I think he's a very nice person. I'd love to do something with him someday, but not yet. Hasn't worked out.
Hasn't worked out yet. How about Sam Toddy?
That's another one that I haven't worked with, but I would like to. And I'll tell you, it's so funny.
I worked with Sam at JUCO. So.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. I counted up, and I don't remember the number, but I've worked with maybe 25 different directors.
Nice.
In Kansas City. So it's and this just like 6.5 years here in Kansas City. I was 1 year in Texas where I first started doing this.
Where in Texas?
I lived in Irving.
Oh, just outside of Dallas.
Yeah. So around
former home of Texas Stadium.
Yeah. Actually, I lived in the area that when they tore it down, it became the Las Colinas area of Irving. I lived in Las Colinas.
Nice.
So real close to where the stadium was, maybe even right there.
Yeah, my mother was raised in Beaumont, and
by Louisiana.
Yeah, and a lot of that side of the family lives in the Houston area now. So.
Yeah, it makes sense. Beaumont's probably closer to Houston than Dallas. But I actually liked living in Dallas. I liked it. It's always, I'm stating it as a fact, but 12 or 13 degrees warmer than Kansas City. So if it's 22 here and it's like, boy, it's really cold this morning, it's 35 there. If it's 95 here, like, oh my goodness, well there it's 106. You know, it's always like 12 or 13 degrees, give or take 10 degrees warmer. And it's summer, winter, always. And the summers are horrific. It was 109 degrees in Dallas when I was there. And just the batteries in your car wear out fast. If you park outside and stuff, we'd replace car battery that shouldn't have been replaced. And they said, oh, where are you parking it? And it's like, well, it was outside. So...
I'm currently experiencing some car difficulties right now.
Yeah.
And I was ironically parking in hot weather inside might have triggered it. So
wow.
At the Crown Center garage. So.
Wow. Now, did you just move?
No, I've lived in Kansas City my whole life.
Oh, okay. I thought I saw something about you moving, but maybe it was someone else. So yeah. So you?
No, it might be work related because we're moving offices.
Okay.
Work, so
Okay.
That's probably what it is. So, but no, I've been in the KC area my whole life. Yeah, mom, of course, originally from Beaumont, and dad from Pittsburgh.
Wow, it was an unusual place to.
Or they met. At Lamar University in Beaumont. So.
Wow. Yeah. No, I have 2 daughters. Mm-hmm. One, they're both married. One lives in Overland Park. My other daughter lives in Springfield.
Yeah, I'm in Overland Park. So.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. North Overland Park. In my case, I'm very near downtown.
Oh, okay. Downtown Overland Park is beautiful. I love that area. I love that. I love the little farmers market stuff there.
Yeah, I can walk there.
Yeah, you're living my life.
Yeah,
you're living my life.
Yeah, it's about a mile east of my house. So.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah. So cool. What'd you do before you got into acting, if you don't mind?
Oh no, I've had different jobs, like they're mental health related jobs.
All right.
Probably like I used to work Department of Corrections, mental health. I worked in investigations for Department of Mental Health, assistant director, and for a while, and consultant for a while. Hospital mental health programs. Nice. Had programs just all around, like Arkansas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri. I used to travel a lot.
Cool.
Always seem to travel for work. My job now, I work for a company. We teach de-escalation. So I travel the U.S. and Canada probably over 30 weeks a year.
Cool.
I go to Rhode Island and West Virginia, the next 2 states.
Nice.
Texas too, supposedly, but it might cancel. It might cancel.
Good deal. Yeah, I've had a lot of jobs over my life too. So, cleaned floors. I've worked as a security officer.
Yeah.
Worked in a warehouse for a while. Was a TV intern. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
DoorDash and teaching chess too.
Wow.
DoorDash actually got as a side effect of doing this podcast. So
yeah.
This is an episode with 2 of my buddies who I worked in the warehouse with, and one of them said, "Hey, you should go and do DoorDash," and I'm glad I did. So.
No, I have coworkers because we work where we're gone, not the full week, but we're gone a lot during the week, and then we have time off. Like I'm off this week, for instance.
Cool.
And during the weeks off, some people do DoorDash. Some people, they do all sorts of stuff. I'm trying to think. All I can think of is tutoring and DoorDash, but there's several of them do different things. One of them translates documents to another language. Like it's different things. And I do acting. If it can work out on my schedule where I'm already off, or if I can switch around and get off that week, if there's stuff during the week, I can get off and do it. And I've done that multiple times. So.
By the way, just if I ever do cast you for one of my projects, I do like to dabble in foreign languages from time to time.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah. So Tales from the Intern, that's the project that Rick and Omega worked on. They didn't have to learn any alien languages, but I did have an alien language made up for them. I also had lines in Japanese.
Wow,
and
very cool.
Some lines in Russian, even though I don't speak a lick of Russian.
Yeah, but you had it. That's really cool.
Yeah, but there's a great Russian community here in Kansas City, and they've been more than helpful to me.
That's awesome.
On that.
That's awesome. Yeah, Omega is he's one of my favorite people as well, and he's really going around making things happen.
Yeah,
I hope he gets lots of success. His music, acting.
Oh yeah.
He got to be in one of the Gardens of the Galaxies, the second one.
Nice.
Yeah, he was in that. I think he was in it very quickly. He got killed by the raccoon. He got killed by the raccoon, but they like showed his character. Yeah, I mean, he was not in there long, but you could see him. Boom, gets killed. So.
I'll have to check that movie out.
Yeah, but it's still funny. Yeah, he's got like they put this big hair on him, and he's already like this. He's a big gladiator looking guy already.
Yeah, he's big.
Yeah,
big guy.
He's my height with 50 pounds more muscle.
Yeah.
And then they put that outfit on him, and he just looks really intimidating. So, which is why it's funny, because then you have this little 1.5-foot raccoon shooting this big scary monster.
Mm-hmm. And also a good time to remind people my ancestry is Polish, not Russian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of people say my name is that Russian? Like, no.
Polish.
It is. Yeah. It is Slavic, but it's not.
Do you speak any Polish then?
No.
No, that would be the one to learn. You got people maybe that could help you a little bit.
Polish is too difficult.
Yeah, well, I think Polish is probably similar to Russian as far as
they
would all be hard.
To learn Russian, and frankly, the Cyrillic alphabet's the easy part.
My dad actually speaks Russian. He took it in college. He's 83, so back then, when he was in college, like a lot of people, like learning Russian was a thing.
Right.
And so he learned it so he could teach it. Like in high school, he planned on teaching Russian, but he never did. He never did, but he still likes every once in a while saying things in Russian. He gets excited when he hears Russian words.
Right. Yeah, so for me, my language learning was Spanish in high school. Mm-hmm. And a very useful language.
Yeah, that would be the one to learn.
Yeah, especially if you have to work in restaurants. They all speak Spanish.
Yeah.
And Japanese I learned in college.
Very cool.
Because I'm a martial artist. And
what martial art did you?
Karate.
Oh, okay. What style of karate?
Started with Kenpo and then learned Bushidokan. So,
very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And it was for college karate that ultimately didn't take those courses, but that's what spirit my interest in learning Japanese, and I'm glad I did, because that is a fun language.
Yeah.
I mentioned karate. It's the same kara as in a word I consistently hear mispronounced by English speakers.
Sure.
Karaoke.
Oh, very interesting. Mm-hmm. I'm actually a master of Hapkido, which is Korean art, Korean like bodyguard training, basically. Nice. More than that, but that's the main thing. That's what I claim. I have a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, some other credentials, but
nice.
But I'm also I'm arthritic shoulders and back. So I'm. I probably can't do much now.
Yeah, we can all.
Still do the disarm type of stuff and all that, but
still do,
some stuff, but
basic stuff, that's age plus old football injuries.
Yeah. Well, your body. Yeah. Someone says it's not the age of the car; it's the miles on the tires or something. Right. I get it.
All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up here. So thanks, Kyle, for coming on. And, great getting to know you. And we will talk to you all again very soon.
All right. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah. This podcast is uncalled for. It's hosted, produced, and edited by myself, Mike Chernevsky. Opening music is Iron Bacon by Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 4.0 license. The outro music that you're hearing right now is Saturday's Church by Mon Plaisir. You will find this at freemusicarchive.org, and it is under CC0 1.0 Universal license. And to find the Elvis house that we talked about, it is Elvis Retreat House on Airbnb in beautiful Independence, Missouri.
If you are in the United States or Canada, you can call us at 816-832-5160. Leave your message or question for us, and if we like it, we will play it on the podcast. Please support the podcast and purchase our exclusive Uncalled For merchandise. T-shirts, sweatshirts, mugs, stickers, and so much more. Go to www.cafepress.com/uncalledforpod. Thank you so much for listening. We will see you next time.